Hey guys, Latoya here with She Talks, and I am so excited about this interview. I am sitting next to all around entrepreneur, okay? Philanthropist, author, Miss Tasha Renee. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing well. You look amazing today.
Thank you. So do you.
So you know it took forever to get here, but we have been working and we've been praying for this day to finally come, and it's here.
Yes.
How do you feel?
I feel so wonderful. I'm so full of joy and excitement right now. I can't believe I'm able to sit down.
So we gotta dive right into this book. Author. How did you become an author? Like, where did that come about?
I started with songwriting, believe it or not, years ago. I had my little groups. We were just doing our thing, and experience just took me into that writing mode, and eventually I said, why not write a book? It just made perfect sense.
Now, people, I know they already know you. Tell them about the songs that you've made back then, some of the things that you've done working with MTV. Tell the little people, those that don't know you.
Well, you guys, I actually released my first album in 2013 called Music Plus Love Equal Me, and I put my heart and soul into it. I listen to it every day. It's a really good album. It revolves around love and experience in life, and you can learn a lot from it.
And you actually performed, or you was on MTV before, right?
Absolutely, too. MTV, too. I did perform Wonder Woman, which is like my favorite. That was the single, yes.
So now we are writing, and how did you come up with the stories that's in your book, Anonymous Diaries?
Anonymous Diaries, it happened, like I said, it wasn't planned.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
organic.
I got a lot of therapy out of writing, and I figured, why not? Other women benefit from it as well. They don't necessarily have to tell it to the world. I could be their voice. So that's how that started. And what I did was I tried to add humor into it, because any serious topic, of course, you don't always want it all to be bad, so you try to just get some type of laughter out of it. So I made up little titles that went with the actual subject of what I was talking about.
Okay, so guys, Anonymous Diaries, awesome, awesome, awesome book. I don't want to spoil it, but tell the people what they can expect in Anonymous Diaries, what they will get out of it, the readers.
You can expect real life. It's widespread. It revolves around domestic violence, and it's serious, it's real. It's a lot of us that are or have experienced it that will take it to our graves. It's a lot of us that have taken it to our graves. We don't speak on it. We're scared, we're afraid. However, it's far more common than you think. So I would just say, if you're looking for strength, healing, power, people who's been there with you that can relate, it will help you.
Now, do you have a story in Anonymous Diaries?
Well, it started with me through experience. Abuse in any form is abuse, and that's also in the book. It's not necessarily a spoiler, but it's anonymous for that reason. And what it does is it protects everyone. Of course, we've all been there. So with that being said, all of us are anonymous in the book. And I told the women I will definitely protect their identity.
So why now? Why do you think the world needs to read Anonymous Diaries? Why do you think it's so important that, we read stories of other women that's gone through, domestic violence situations? Why now?
A lot of women are speaking out now about it. And even as a child, me growing up, times were different then. A lot of women weren't speaking out. They were afraid. They believed what went on behind closed doors is what stayed behind closed doors. But you have people dying, getting killed just at the hands of someone else. And I believe, just like anybody else, hands are not made for hitting. And if I can help save a life, why not? Sometimes when you can relate, when you can look at someone else's story and you say, gosh, I didn't realize I was in the same thing.
Right.
So it's important for us to shed light on everything.
Right. So you're writing these books, and from my understanding, this is it don't stop at Anonymous Diaries, guys. How do you balance business life with personal life? And I think it's kind of like being a psychologist. you know, you take on these stories and it becomes real life for you, right? Because I know we've spent many nights talking and discussing a lot of these things. How do you balance and find a breakaway between, okay, anonymous diaries, these stories, these things that these women went through, and your personal life?
Well, what I do is I take me out of it, because I know that I still get emotional about things, especially hearing it from someone that I want to be for so bad and help. But this is my way of helping, by listening. It starts with listening. When you feel like someone is actually there, they hear you out, they believe you, and they know that you've been through what they've been through. It's a trust barrier there. So for me, just listening to them is enough. That's where it starts.
And do you find yourself sometimes becoming angry? Because I know as a woman, I mean, I'm emotional. I cry at the drop of a dime watching a love movie on Netflix. You know, I'm crying. How do you, I know you take yourself out of it, but being able to bounce back, okay, you're sitting, you're getting these stories and you're writing them and you're being the voice for these women. How do you, let's say, you know, turn it off, I guess?
Honestly, I can't turn it off, because we all have emotions, we all have feelings, just like we go to a movie and watch it. That's just life. However, when I wrote the book, it was about gaining strength. So what we have to do is help them, bring them back to when times were good, to get them back into the better space that we know they can be in. So for me, it's just trying to bring them back to a good place. Hey, look, I've been there with you. I know we may have two completely different stories, but domestic violence, abuse, whether it's sexual, physical, mental, it's all the same, just different forms. So I have to just bring them back and say, hey, these are some things you can do that will possibly get you to where you need to be.
Okay. That's beautiful. I mean, so it's kind of like you've now become this ambassador. You've taken a responsibility, so to speak, to, you know, speak for these women. And I mean, I think that's very, very, very noble of you.
Thank you. I will be honest with you. That's the very thing that I knew that once I did that, I had to be prepared for anything that comes, because I never woke up one day and said, hey, I want to write a book about domestic abuse.
Right.
It took for me to experience certain things and certain things to happen to me for me to say, wait a minute, I can't, I won't, I will walk. But what about those women that don't have that type of strength or power behind them to do it?
Right. That's just awesome. Tell the people, how long have you been working on Anonymous Diaries? How long has this project been in the making?
It's been in the making for 4 years, you guys. I would have my moments writing, going back and forth with my own experiences and trying to figure out, do I even want to share certain things? Am I ready to even put this out in the world? But like I said, each one, teach one, each one, reach one. That is also in the book. There is some truths to it. And when you read the book, you will identify with something. Even if it's just a simple argument, just certain things will make you realize how things can escalate very quickly.
Right. I mean, I think that it's just really, guys, you have to get this book. It's if you was here and feel the vibes, and you get the vibes that you get when she even talk about this book, that, and I asked how long it's been in the making, you know, because, you know, you have a lot of people that's overnight authors these days. No shade, but you have everybody that's writing books. I really wanted them to know that this is not something that you just thought, oh, I could do this for money, and, you know, you're taking, no, this is something that's been in the making, something that was kind of birthed, something that you manifested, and, you know, it was something that's true and dear to your heart. And so, guys, I mean, I wish you was here. You could feel the vibes that, you know, she talking about this book that she gets.
Thank you so much. And what I'd like to add, even just in reference to the time that I spent working on it, you know, for me, it's never about the money.
Right.
That when you have a passion for something or a purpose, those things come, that's going to come.
Right.
But for me, it's about giving back.
Right.
I watched movies like What's Love Got to Do with It and Enough with Jennifer Lopez, and even the most recent film that was done, gosh, I cannot think of it, Till Death Do Us Part with Taye Diggs.
On Netflix, yes.
On Netflix. And I'm going to tell you, I went and seen it in the theater. That was exactly what I was getting at in the book. Mm-hmm. It starts out a certain way and it ends a certain way. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's about giving back, helping victims, women just blessing them with the book, mm-hmm. giving back anonymous dollars because a lot of women, they need it. In the time of need, they have to get up, run with their kids out the house. This stuff is really serious. So you guys, if you read the book, you'll get a lot from it.
And not to mention, this is also Domestic Violence Month, you know, and so, you know, our hearts go out to those that has been victims and dealing with it. Time appropriate, guys. Definitely a great time to get this book. You know, I heard somebody on the radio, this grandmother who was saying that her daughter got killed or something, and she was basically in a domestic violence situation, and turned around, her daughter ended up being in one, and so just how, you know, the cycle repeats itself. And it's time to put a stop to it, guys. And so again, Domestic Violence Awareness Month in October. This book is time appropriate. Like it's just really time for us to know the triggers, know what it looked like, know what it feel like, and like you said, it don't have to be a man hitting you, but you know the verbal abuse.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of how it started, right?
Absolutely, that is how it started. In fact, you know, when you talk about domestic abuse, a lot of people think or ask, mm-hmm. black and blue, punching, hitting. Absolutely not. That's not the only form right. of abuse. It could be calling you out of your name. It could be pinning you up against the wall. It could be talking under your clothes. It's a lot of different things that we don't even recognize because we've dealt with the things for so long. And then when it's brought up by a superstar or somebody famous, now all of a sudden people recognize it. But it's been going on. Right. Now it's just time to speak out about it. Don't be afraid, ladies. You're not the only ones.
Right. Speak out. Tasha, where can they find the book at? Where can they find you on social media? Yeah, tell them all that good stuff.
TheRealAnonymousDiaries.com. So that's my website. So it's all exclusive. You can read more there. You can email me info@TheRealAnonymousDiaries.com if you have stories or experiences. You may just be in the next book anonymously. The Real Anonymous Diaries on Twitter, Instagram, look me up, Facebook. So just remember The Real Anonymous Diaries.
Spelled just how it sounds, guys. I think that's awesome. You also get a special surprise with the book, so definitely worth the money, every penny. Guys, thank you for this. This was so needed. Truly. Thank you.
I have to say thank you because for another woman to understand and you see it, you hear it, you feel it too, yes. to be interviewed by someone who could possibly actually be a victim or have been a right. victim. These things hit home, whether it's right. a grandmother, a sister, or auntie. So right. I appreciate you for even just stepping out, stepping up, right. and doing this interview.
No problem, Tasha. You know, listen, if she called, I'm coming because she's always working on great things, guys. Get the book. Tasha Renee, amazing author. More to come. Stay tuned. She Talks.